Hi everyone, I'm Akanksha Kamath, Fashion Features Editor for Vogue India, and this is a panel discussion part of Vogue India and Natural Diamond Council's Diamond Festival, the online edit. We have a very exciting panel with us today, starting with Mithun Sacheti, who is a certified gemologist and also the brainchild and CEO of Caratlane, an online megastore for shopping diamonds and solitaires online.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Pernia Qureshi, who is well known not only for her impeccable style, but for her expert eye on selling luxury online.
Hi, thank you. Nice.
And finally, in India, the social interaction matters greatly in the retail transaction. And in the pandemic, as e commerce grew, influencers and digital content creators maintain that link. We have with us Amrita Thakur today.
Thank you. It was lovely to be here.
And you're welcome also to your some 100,000 followers.
Yes, really happy.
So where's everyone today, by the way? Which part of India?
I'm in Bombay.
I'm in Gurgaon at home.
In Chennai.
So today we will be talking about online diamonds, how to buy them, how to understand them, and how inevitably the future of luxury is online. Starting with you, Mithun, I'm very intrigued to know that you come from a traditional family jewelry background, and you tapped into an online market and started Caratlane when not many around you were thinking of selling diamonds exclusively online. What sort of started that journey for you, and what was your thought process?
A simple answer is I was young and I didn't know what I was doing. But as the story plays out, and the true answer now is that honestly the aspiration was to reach out to more number of consumers, and how much ever I did from retail, there were only that many people who walked in through that one door which is out there. The wherewithal wasn't there to build multiple stores, and I'd seen a success story play out in the West and Blue Nile, where solitaires could really be sold online. India was still very early in those days. Solitaire as a category itself was early, but we felt that if we had the patience, and instead of the trend at that point, which was to open mega jewelry stores, like really large jewelry stores, but still have only one point of entry, if we were to fight that trend, the only other way would be to have a limitless entry point, where you would have as many people walk in concurrently at one point. And what would matter is that more people see a limited set of merchandise, and thus they would be spoiled for choice, as well as more people get options to see try it out as well. So merchandise get more consumers, and consumers get more merchandise. Both could easily be done on the internet. Very difficult to do that in the physical world. It just felt the right thing to do at that point. Internet penetration was increasing, and solitaire is a category that you could actually buy basis of a certificate, as opposed to most other things.
So I think essentially it was a way to reach a larger base and more people. But correct me if I'm wrong, and if this is a myth, but we imagine that it's a younger consumer, a younger millennial who is sort of shopping online. Is that really true?
No, everybody shops online. I think we are confusing oftentimes by saying that the channel belongs to an audience. The channel doesn't belong to an audience actually. Does it mean that the younger millennial does not shop retail? That's also not true, right? So it's where you find comfort, and as time goes by and in the curve of innovation, younger people adapt or adopt new things first. And so that's where it starts off. I'm sure all of you were much earlier in taking on Facebook and WhatsApp, etc. But today, me and a lot more older people are taking that on as well. And many people leave those channels and start moving on to whatever, Instagram and all the other things as well also. And the same thing happens for shopping as well. There is an early adopter to it, and then there is long tail, which comes later. The first 16-17% maybe come from there, and everybody else after that follows. That's where you really make a core business, and that's possibly the phase that India is in now, where you'll find a lot more people going and shopping on that. So I don't, I think they come early, but it's not that they only shop.
Pernia, moving on to you, because you do have experience selling luxury online, and you were doing it, far ahead of your time as well. Do you see that, luxury is always thought of as touch and feel and tactile? Did you notice, people either struggling or attracted to online shopping? What does your experience say?
I think because I've been in the luxury e-commerce space for quite a while now, I think things have really changed as of now, as of today. So if I compare this to like 8 years ago, or 9 years ago, when things were very new in terms of shopping luxury online, people were hesitant initially, and it was usually the younger demographic, like Mithun said, who would try it first. It was also the demographic that was exposed to international online shopping, because for them in the West and in the US, it's been a way of life for a very long time. So having said that, initially, I think there were a few barriers of trust. It took time, but I think it grew very quickly. And I think people adapted to online shopping quite fast, because you cannot deny the convenience of it. You cannot deny the benefits you get from online shopping, even in a sector such as luxury, because we have clients from tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities who have the exposure because of the internet, and they want the best things in life, but they don't want to always travel for them. We even have customers in Delhi and Bombay who want the best, or who may not have the time to take a whole day out to go like looking for gold or diamonds or whatever it is, So I think it's because of the convenience of it, and because there are so many benefits to online shopping, I think people adapted very quickly. And I think today, if you ask me, I think a lot of people, a big segment is very comfortable buying luxury online. And I think it's thanks to the stores that started in the beginning and normalized it for everybody who's starting now,
Absolutely. Amrita, coming to you, because you have a very important role to play as well in the whole chain of retail, love how you curate your content as well online. But what I want to know is that on your profile, do you see audiences asking for something? Do they want to see luxury items on you in a particular way? Are they engaging better in certain formats, etc.? Is there something you've noticed?
For sure. I think the big shift a while back was that people didn't want to see it on professional models, and people wanted to see it on real people, whether it was clothes or jewelry. And that, I think, was a change where, we had to listen to what people were wanting, and nobody kind of really knew what to do with that. And that's where I think everything exploded with the whole content creation and with digital content creators. But I think some people have been able to use it in a very positive manner, where it's converted into business. I think for me, the most important thing is when a brand comes to me, the most important thing is it has to convert into business. It's not something that I'm just putting on an outfit or putting on beautiful jewelry and presenting it to you for the fun of what, unless it's business for the brand and it's something that an audience is gaining. Say something they're looking for a polki necklace, or they're looking for a kind of a particular kind of ring. So unless it's something that is beneficial for both, it doesn't make sense. But yes, people do want to, I started selling jewelry from my store, and a lot of people do want to have a look and feel of it, but it's quite astonishing the number of people that are buying it based on A, trust value, and B, like sitting online, sitting on Instagram, they're buying things. Which is not cheap. It's a good lot of money. So I'm almost like I'm always kind of taking baby steps of that. But then I'm like, okay, it always surprises me with people, like how they just kind of be like, okay, no, we're good to buy.
What's the most expensive thing you've bought? I'm going to ask all of you this, but what's the most expensive thing you've bought online?
I got a beautiful Art Deco bracelet, which I now retail from my store, but I got it from jewelers that I trust, that I've known for a while. So, when I saw it, I was like, that's it, I want this. So, I didn't feel the need to sort of see it and stuff. I know their work, and I'm a huge fan of their work. So that way it worked. So that was the most expensive thing.
Pernia?
I don't know on the top of my head, because I do I do engage in expensive online shopping if I need or want something, or if I'm browsing and I love something, just because I've been in the business for so long, and I was a very avid online shopper even in college. So it's really been a way of life for me. And I've also bought things from designers from outside of India. Again, you go to brands that are well established or that you have a trust factor with. And I think I must have bought Zimmerman online and so many other brands. So it's something I do engage in quite frequently. If I need or want something, I don't need to wait to go shopping or need to go to a country to buy something. I've been a avid believer of online shopping, luxury online shopping, and spending money online from a very, very long time. So yeah.
Mithun, what about you?
I gift a ton of jewelry around, so I think for me, and I shop a lot online. So I love the effort people put in to build imagery, and I like taking risks. So I love discovering new brands. I love actually writing back to them and saying what I love about their work as well. So I just live online, I shop online, and I live in Chennai. I mean, what do you think? I have to buy everything online, you know. I have nothing to buy physically available over here. So, yeah, so buying cars, buying jewelry, buying anything and everything pretty much is online. It's just a way of life for me at least. Yeah.
There's something very interesting you said there about imagery and online imagery and things like that. You know, with the personal shopping experience of buying diamonds, how do you sort of, like, what's a checklist that you think a shopper should come with, you know, to be able to buy diamonds online? Because, you know, 4Cs and this, that, like, are you integrating any kind of technology or imagery and things to make the process easier?
Actually, we're at a very important crossroad at this point. We can see a lot more technology outside of India right now, but we are not able to implement all of it in India because our bandwidth still is a struggle. I mean, I'm saying bandwidth beyond the 4 cities. Actually, these days, even the 4 cities is a struggle also. The 4 metros or 6 metros is a struggle. But I think over the next 1 or 2 years, you'd see a lot of technology which we can embed on the websites, and then we will be able to provide for phenomenal experiences around it. We just can't do try-ons today, right? It's such a struggle to do good quality try-ons, because while the phone in a real world has the power, has a processing power for it, the internet does not provide the processing power to do this real time. So that shift of anything to do with augmented on that is not happening. So most things that we're doing right now is around building convenience, building information convenience, and getting better and better around imagery, so that people get a truer sense of what it will feel, what it will look like if somebody was to wear this. Those are the points of friction that you can solve for today. In the next coming years, I think we'll look to solve for points of friction around what it looks like on me, and that's going to be a big change in conversion rates for consumer behavior.
Pernia, in your opinion, how does like imagery and video and things like that come into play?
I think that's the most important thing when it comes to online shopping. I think you have to display and portray and show your piece, whether it is a garment or whether it's jewelry, in the best way possible for a consumer, A, to get the consumer's attention to begin with, and B, to kind of show them as many details as possible. Because when you're shopping online, just because you can't feel it and touch it, that doesn't mean you can't see it in movement, you can't see it in 3D. That's the help of videos and reels. And now there's so many things with social media also that you can do to give clients that extra bit of experience to see how this looks in sunlight, or see how it looks in a darker room. And you can do so much with imagery and videos, and there's just so much to do, and it's just so important, because you have to understand that's all they have to judge by when they're buying your product. And of course there's a factor of trust, but with diamonds, there's the added thing of having a certificate. If I were to buy a diamond online, I would definitely ask for a certificate, but that would be something I would reach later. First, I have to even see it or like it. My attention has to go to it, and it will not go if the images are not beautiful, and engaging. So there's a reason why on our website from the very beginning, since I've been in e-commerce, we've given detail shots, because you have to give like really close-up detail shots of what you're selling. If it's like an embroidered garment or even with jewelry, like then you can actually see the palm, and the craftsmanship. If you show a detailed shot, then you show a shot from far so you can see how it looks like in context to the model's face and body. So, all these things are very important. And I'd say on online shopping is probably the most important.
And Amrita, in your communication, about jewelry and diamonds, are there any kind of questions that you notice in your from your audiences, or do you communicate, jewelry content differently?
Well, I think mostly it's about, what is whether there is a certificate involved, what is the how well do you know the brand or how that you're representing, how much do you trust them, are they good guys to buy from, and the other thing is whether they're getting certificates for the things that they're buying. I think what's also happened with jewelry and jewelers is that there's been such an influx right now that there's a bit of the trust factor has kind of taken a bit of a hit, because there are some jewelers that are doing some dubious things. So people are slightly, maybe because of the stories, maybe because of personal experience that they've had, they are slightly wanting to be on the safer side. And I think jewelers owe them that. The fact that if they want a certificate, then that should be available. Buyback value, etc. These are the things mostly that they want to know about.
Mithun, I have read that the one sector in luxury that's really shooting up in this time is jewelry. Why do you think that is? And do you actually see that there is like a climb in shopping online jewelry?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, almost.
In a good way.
It's been a great last 9 months, not just online, even offline. If you look at the numbers that everybody are posting, I think it's gone crazy. Not gone crazy, I mean, but like great for work. But I have a very weird thought on it, so indulge me for a second. It's I just feel that everybody has spent so much time with their families, as opposed to being really, really busy over the last few years. We get busier and busier and busier. And the more time you spend with your family, more likely are you to celebrate the smaller moments as well. So every birthday is getting celebrated, every anniversary is getting celebrated. I'm actually tired of sending all those those YouTube videos to every cousin and every aunt who's somebody is creating like a video compiling a video of everybody wishing them. And it used to happen for like one, maybe 50th birthday or a 40th birthday or a 25th birthday or something. Now it's happening for like every birthday in the last 1 year. I think everyone's figured that sort of time has led to a much deeper, stronger emotional bond. And I think manifestation of that is also happening in jewelry. That's just my feeling on it, that I'm amazed at the amount of gifting I have seen in the last 1 year, because at Caratlane we get a lot of data. And we get to see the number of messages that go out to people is increasing by so much, and number of people buying solitaires has shot up a lot. So there is tremendous gift. I mean, there's tremendous work happening, that people are coming out to buy jewelry for their loved ones, and I feel well, this is my take on it, that why it's happening. Over the last 6-8 months I've been thinking about it, and I just then started observing behavior around me and talking to people, and this is what I think it is. But I'm sure there are many other reasons as well also.
Now, I was going to say, I want to add something to that, because I think there are other important factors as to why this is happening as well. I think the first thing is, I can even speak for myself as a client. You are saving money. In the last year, we were not really able to go anywhere. People are not going on holidays. They're not traveling and spending money on vacations. They're not, so many people have not even been able to go to college, school. You are saving a lot of money. So people now have this money, which they would have probably set aside for their lifestyle and to go out and to travel, which they didn't do. So I think the first reason is that they had that money kept aside to then invest in something they feel like has value. And I think over the last year and a half, what has happened is that people have actually started appreciating pieces and investment value pieces, like pieces that will last you a lifetime. I think people have stopped buying frivolously. They're buying things that are important, that are long lasting, that can be that can be given from generation to generation, and jewelry is such a big part of that, and so I think if you have the budget and you have this new appreciation for things that last, I think that's the combination why jewelry sales are probably going up. I have also, instead of going on holiday, I bought a piece of jewelry, because I'd rather invest in that, because even down the line, it's not like it's going to go out of style, or it's not like, it's something that I have to get rid of. It's something I can keep forever. So I think that investment value of jewelry has really, really stood out now in the last year and a half.
Yeah, I agree. And the heirloom quality of it, like you said, and also the celebration aspect is that there are so many weddings happening around us, like a pandemic couldn't stop the small intimate Indian wedding. We've so there's a lot of gifting around that, and with brides sort of wanting to shine over Zoom and whatnot, it's the diamonds, it's the earrings, the choker that sort of makes the biggest impact on screen, right? Mithun, what are you seeing flying off the shelves, or should I say shopping carts?
Actually, it's everything. It just depends on what your desire is, right? There's an audience that you guys all belong to and speak of, which is more to do with my family business at Jaipur Gems, which would be selling the heirloom pieces and the larger value and everything. But you'd be amazed at how many people are first-time buyers of diamond jewelry. They've never bought a piece of diamond jewelry before, and that is where the volume is coming from. Where people who have really now gone out there and said that, okay, I have not spent money, which is the obvious part that nobody's spending, and these guys don't go to Maldives. So really, they are out there spending this money into emotional stuff where they want to celebrate those little moments in their lives and do that. Weddings, definitely the spend that people do on jewelry per wedding has gone up. There's no doubt about it, whether it's got to do with the price of gold that they got to spend more for it, or the fact that other areas there's been they've been able to save on other areas, because I can't imagine anybody skimming off that, right? If I've decided I'm going to spend this much on a wedding, and if I'm not going to spend on a certain area of calling people, they're going to end up spending more on jewelry, and that's evident in last minute jewelry purchases for weddings. That's been a lot as well. Otherwise, jewelry is normally for a wedding, thought through, purchased before, you might add a few things in the end, but we've seen a lot of that happen across as well. So it's been a universal growth for the jewelry category, and that reflects in the big double-digit growth that the category overall has seen over the last 6 months. Most of the consumption has not been the same space, but jewelry definitely has benefited from this behavior across the board.
And is there like a sweet spot in terms of a price range that people are attracted to?
Completely. I mean, it's got to do with the brand, right? I mean, where do you want to be? Every brand has its sweet spot, and it's been a secular growth across. And I actually don't know anybody who's not done well in the jewelry space in the last 6-8 months. It would be a challenging thing to find someone who's not done well in the last 6-8 months. So all consumers overall have found value in it for different reasons. Many we heard right now, and I'm sure there are a few out there which we don't know about as well also, and they've gone out and spent on jewelry in whatever they find appealing. It's not a category where any one area dominates, right? No single jeweler has got 5% market share also. No category in the jewelry business is greater than 5% as well. So you're unlikely to find something where you say like, oh, this is the one that's really gone on the limb, and this is really completely off the charts on this one. That's unlikely to happen with jewelry, because certain type of people have a certain kind of taste, and they're spending money in their area. What you collectively get is that everybody finds value in jewelry at this point.
Yeah, that's so true. And Pernia and Amrita, for both of you, when you're buying your diamonds, what are you looking for? You said trust in a jeweler, and you said heirloom quality. Is there anything else that sort of stands out for you?
I was gonna say, no, I think when I'm buying jewelry, yes, trust, going to somebody I trust is important. I think certification is very important. It's probably the most important thing, especially when it comes to diamonds. Because if you ever want to gift it to a family member, you want to pass it off as an heirloom, you want to pass it off with the certificate. It just makes it more official, and you also feel like you're giving something of value to the next person if you're passing it on. And I was going to just add something that when you're buying jewelry online for the first time, or buying anything in the luxury segment, the best thing to do actually is to buy something small first. If you're not familiar with the website or the e-commerce store, say you love how everything looks, but you haven't heard of anybody else who's shopped from them, you can do research on them. You can look them up, see who is behind it. You can see if they're of some value, and if they're trustworthy. You can see with your education online, but you can also start off with buying something small. And that's something I noticed from the very beginning of luxury e-commerce in this country. What people do is usually they'll buy something smaller, and the next time, if they get it in really good condition, everything is exactly how it's meant to be, the next time their ticket size will get bigger and bigger. So that's a really smart way to invest in luxury as well online. Don't immediately, like, I don't do it either. I don't immediately go and buy something super expensive in the beginning, first time I'm using a website or e-commerce store. I wait, I buy something smaller first. Then I go ahead and buy something more expensive, or I ask like friends and peers and ask them that, okay, what is recommended? So these are the steps you can take when you're buying jewelry or luxury online in general.
Yeah.
I think for me, increasingly, apart from the trust and the certification, increasingly it's become about buying pieces that one can wear every day. I feel like we've had jewelry too far, for too many years kind of just put away in our locker. And increasingly I'm just pushing the whole idea. We're pushing the idea of being, whatever you buy, it can be a traditional piece of jewelry, but you have to be able to wear it every day and mix and match and, just kind of have it all come together for you. So everyday pieces.
I agree with Amrita. I think the last 2-3 years, I have realized that what I'm interested in most is pieces that I can wear all the time, because you want to get value out of what you're buying, so it's not only about just passing it on, having an heirloom. You want to enjoy it as well. And you can enjoy it the most when you can wear it the most, So I think wearability is a huge factor. And I think that's also why jewelry sales, especially online, are probably up, because people are buying practical things, smaller things that they can even wear on a Zoom call, and it's not jarring. And I think that's also a big factor why e-commerce sales are up for jewelry.
And Mithun, what's been the most surprising diamond buy? Because we're talking about like everyday diamonds and this and that, but I'm actually really intrigued to know what surprised you.
Surprising, maybe in terms of value, when sometime back we had some vivid yellow diamond sold online, 8-9 carat one. I know it was a request and we had to source that for someone and do that. So that somebody would trust us that a product we don't sell, it's not a diamond that we list as such, and ask us to go and figure it out. When I first heard it, somebody was telling me, hey, I'm looking for this, would you have any leads as well? I was like, no, I don't have. Frankly, I wasn't even giving it, it's not like I couldn't have figured it out, it's just that I wasn't giving it the time of day, because every other day we get someone who's saying, I want a 20 carat deflawless, and I know that most of those things don't materialize into anything, because we have far more requests for those things as compared to this. But when this materialized, I was very surprised, and I also was a bit embarrassed that I did not help him out. But that was an interesting one to see, and very different from whatever we normally see. We see 5, 7, 8 carat diamonds every month selling online, but we don't see something like this happen often.
No, for sure. But I mean, what a buy, right? A yellow diamond of 8-9 carats. I think we've covered it all, and thank you guys for everything. If you want to add any parting thoughts, feel free.
I was gonna just say that now that I was hearing Mithun speak, I feel like another reason why sales of diamonds and jewelry in general must have gone up is because the category has expanded with e-commerce. So first, people who were buying jewelry and diamonds were buying from their local stores, and now e-commerce is obviously available to everybody everywhere. And I think, as Mithun said, people who haven't bought diamonds or jewelry before are finally entering that category. And it's most likely because it's available on e-commerce to them. And it's not just availability. What I've noticed in the last couple of years with Caratlane and such stores is that they're making the diamonds cheaper and more accessible to an average person to enter the market. So I think the amount of people who've entered the diamond industry as customers, that has increased because the availability of diamonds at a good price and because of e-commerce, it being available everywhere. These are the factors that have led, I think, to the industry in the last couple of years doing well. And it just makes a lot of sense. And I think it's great. I think it's so nice when luxury can be extended to a larger segment of society and more people can enjoy it and have access to it. And that's the best part about e-commerce.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my closing thought.
What do you think is the next, this will be the closing comment, but what do you think is the next frontier in online luxury? Like what's next?
I mean, we're pretty much there with everything. Maybe what Mithun said, that, to see it on yourself while you're shopping, that would be interesting, because a lot of the times I feel jewelry, as much as I have started buying few things just by seeing pictures, but a lot of the times, when it's big value and it's a good amount of money involved, you do want to sort of see it on your neck, or you want to see it on your ears. And let's face it, jewelry has the ability to, the minute you will put it on, it'll look different on you. The minute I put it on, it'll look different on me. So it has that ability to kind of play off the person and, just tone the personality, everything. I hugely believe that. So I think just to be able to see it digitally on yourself would be really, really interesting.
I think beauty's cracked that, haven't they? Like, I feel like you can check lipstick shades.
There are already places where you can see jewelry on yourself. I used to follow this one account on Instagram, and basically it was called Mira or something. I can't remember the name, but you
Mira. Yeah, the challenge is we have an app. I mean, it's the first patented app as well that we have in India on that. But the challenge with all of these, Pernia, is that it's just not the quality that helps you make a decision. It's the quality that gives you a sense of size, but not saying that, can I look at this and make a buying decision on that? And that's the quality that we don't get today because of the metallic nature. Whereas in lipstick, for example, it's matte, right? And it's the shades are what you're going to look at. And so it's easier to create. It's imagine all Pantone shades were only metallic, and what would that shade card look like? And that would be the challenge that we face on this, because you need light reflection to be managed, which means far more number of frames that you need to capture, and that's the challenge that jewelry has right now as opposed to many other categories. But it's a matter of time, I'm sure. It's just not 10 years back when you started online, I'm sure you didn't think that we would be where we are today, and I'm sure 5 years later we'd be talking about some newer challenges of being virtually present in the store and doing our shopping as well also for So Akanksha, my view on that is that digital provides you transparency far greater than any other medium. And if we were to just take that and say, the model could allow people to take bite sizes into luxury. Like, it could really enable trials which could lead to purchases in the long run. What people ultimately want to do is wear, right? They don't necessarily need to own every time to wear, and that's only possible when it's digital. Because if you were to build a gig economy or a rental economy on something like this, that's only possible when you give value to the number of consumers who come and see the same piece. What's happening with Rent the Runway, what's happening with Nully and all the brands abroad. I think it's time that we see that happen across categories in India. Look at Uber for that matter, right? I mean, or Dunzo in India. That ability, a job meant a 30-day pay earlier on. Now a job, you hire a person for 3 hours or 1 hour or 20 minutes, whatever, you can do that. And so why can't you own luxury like that? Fractional ownership, the desire to go across to far more millions of people. All of this is possible only in the digital world. It's not going to be possible these will be models designed exclusively for the digital world, not for the physical world.
That's so interesting. I mean, there are girls like Amrita, Pernia, whose wardrobes you sort of admire, the luxury items they own. And I mean, imagine swapping wardrobes, swapping jewelry, diamonds. How cool would that be, right?
You'll scare a lot of people also with it, but still.
Agree with Mithun. I think the future of digital and e-commerce is sustainability. And when you speak about reselling, when you speak about renting, it's all in the whole. I mean, it factors in the whole sustainability approach. So I think that is the future of digital and e-commerce in the world in general.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also like you're talking about renting, but we do a lot of times go to our jewelers or these guys who we trust, etc. And we do a lot of times buy pieces that have come to them from someone else. So it is old jewelry.
Vintage. I mean, vintage is
vintage. So it's not owned by us, it's something that we buy from them. And we take great pride in saying it's a very, very old piece because we know the value that comes with something that's very old. So yeah, that would be the whole rental bit would be interesting. Also, it would make it more accessible and would take away the the prestige of someone just owning jewelry. So I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, there's a more storytelling factor to it, which is what diamonds and jewelry is essentially about.
Back in the day, I mean, when families lived together, brides and sisters, everyone exchanged jewelry and wore things to kind of not repeat their own jewelry. So, someone would be wearing some Masi, some choker, matching it with that. So why not? It is sort of an extension of that.
Yeah. Actually, the next 10 million, 20 million customers, if we want, who should start wearing diamond jewelry, we would have to find models like that. There's an attempt we're trying to make in Bombay. We launched an app called Adorn, where you could, for example, wear the Cartier love bracelet for 500 rupees. So how else can you get trials going on for it? Or the Tiffany tea, or any one of these things. So we just need to figure out. Real sustainability is when that piece gets life every single day with a new person every single day.
It's a big task, but yeah, I think we are headed there slowly.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Mithun, and thank you, Pernia. This was such a great session and very informative. And we understood everything about buying diamonds online, a checklist that you need. To what would be the next frontier in online luxury jewelry shopping. And it's so exciting to think of everything that's coming our way. Thank you. And thank you for tuning into Vogue India and Natural Diamond Council's Diamond Festival, the online edit.